We have henna artists who come and do the bride's henna, and I'd always loved getting it done because we'd always get it done as cousins of the bride. Henna is really diverse. I do henna on canvases, henna on clock, like I've done it on a clock, I've done it on candles, and you sort of can do it anything you want.
When did you start doing henna?
I started doing henna when I was 14 years old. I had always been to weddings and loved the way we have henna artists who come and do the bride's henna. And I'd always loved getting it done because we'd always get it done as cousins of the bride.
What was your inspiration?
I love going on Instagram and seeing all these henna artists, especially there's one called Bella Henna, and our designs are beautiful. She's sort of inspired by tattoos and like floral designs, and I just really love the way she does it.
Do you think there should be more activities based around henna?
Henna is really diverse. I do henna on canvases, henna on clock, like I've done it on a clock, I've done it on candles, and you sort of can do it anything you want. I've seen people get their backs hennaed, their like heads. They're really, really nice.
So do you think there should be like more clubs or something?
Definitely. I've had a few people actually ask me, but I'm quite nervous doing it on other people.
Right.
So that's always been an issue I have. But I think also there aren't many people in Dundee who know about henna, and a lot of people who do know about it can also be quite frightened of it, saying that because there's a lot of issues in the news with black henna, and a lot of people actually ask me that, like about 8 out of 10 people ask me like, do people not get allergic reactions? And it's to do with the henna they actually use, and because you get 2 types of henna. You get henna that sort of stick onto your surface, and that's black henna. It sort of peels off, and then you get like natural henna, which dyes your skin.
I see.
So it's very different, and you have to be very careful about who you go to and where you get your henna from.
Right.
And I think that's the issue with a lot of people in Scotland, because you don't get natural henna here. That's the issue.
So what advice would you give to a Muslim girl if she wants to pursue a hobby? Any hobby?
Honestly, I feel Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube are your 3 ways to go about it. If you know anyone that does henna, that's great, because you know a first-hand person teaching you how to do it is amazing. But honestly, you can't go wrong with looking on designs and just practicing. Like at the beginning, I was not very good. My henna designs weren't the best. They were just, my hands were very nervous starting off, and now obviously after years, I've done henna for about 6 years now, and you just get more and more better at doing it. Like I would never do it on another person's hand, but now that I've sort of had my experience, I can do it on other people now. So it's all to do with practice and practicing.
Do you think you're breaking the stereotype?
Not really. I feel a lot of my hobbies are very diverse. Henna isn't. I was inspired from henna initially from other Muslims and other Asians doing henna. So it's more or less based on what designs you do. With henna, you have loads and loads of inspirations. You can either do the typical Indian, which I don't really like doing because it's all about having like very bridal henna, very busy henna. You don't see the detail, and it's all to do with bold red shapes. And I don't personally like that. I like the sort of Arabian style henna, the one that Bella Henna sort of does. And these are sort of hennas that you can see like the floral designs, which I really, really like. And sort of designs that are inspired by really quite like nature basically.
Right,
and that's what I really like.
What made you start doing henna on canvases as well?
Canvases, I started doing canvases actually last year. Initially, after doing it on hands, I did it on candles after I've been to weddings, and I'd seen people do it on candles, and I was inspired by that. But canvases, I'd never actually seen people doing it on clocks or canvases or any other sort of like materials like that. And I got into that because I used to do in school, in art class, I was really very easily distracted, and I used to draw on my hands with a pen.
All right.
And that's what mainly got me into doing henna when I was younger, because I used to just draw on my hands with a pen. So doing canvases, I initially started drawing on pieces of paper, and I realized that the designs I was doing was very similar to the henna. I started doing it on like art books, and then I started transferred it to canvases and done it clocks. Sort of because the circular design of it is very similar to the way the flower works. Obviously, if you're doing it in a typical Indian sort of design, we're very busy. It wouldn't suit that sort of material, the textile. But because it's the sort of the floral design, it suits it quite well.
Oh, well, thank you for coming in on my dock. It means a lot.
No worries. It's been a pleasure.